We keeps it real, expressing how we feel. Whoa. So come on in and sip some tea. Join the Kourtney family. We're about relationships and review, making it fun and just for you. Go with God, let God go with you. It's time for Kourtney and Eddie.
I always put God first.
Hey guys, welcome back to another review of Kourtney and Eddie. I am Kourtney and my husband Eddie. He's not doing this season of Hard and Hustle Houston with me, so I'm going to do it solo. So if you're brand new to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, comment down below, and y'all, let's just go straight into it. Now, it started off with Chloe and Jordan, and it's so funny that Jordan, and I have two sons named Jordan and Josh. Now, Josh is Elena's husband, and Jordan is Chloe's boyfriend. It's just so different, not different, but just ironic. But anyway, so Chloe and Jordan, and y'all, I was on Instagram and I saw that they got a whole Instagram together. It's like something called, I guess, Chloe and Jordan, and I don't know if it's dating related. It's something that they got a whole Instagram together where they've traveled and stuff like that. So I guess, honey, there's a whole thing. So this video is being sponsored by Fresh Bins Trash Can Cleaning. If you're in the Houston area and you would like your trash bins to be clean, please make sure that you go visit JSEO.com to make your appointment. All of this will be in the description below. Thank you. She did say that people feel like, I guess, that maybe she's kind of like, since the loss of her husband, she just kind of like in this different place, she's dating younger and stuff like that. But she was like, no, I guess it's just a part of who she always been. But they've been together for 6 months, and she was just saying, the different things as they sit down, they out playing golf and stuff like that or whatever. She was just saying, what are the things, like, how you gonna keep up with me? It's a 17-year age difference. And, when I'm 60, I guess he'll be 40. Like, what is that going to look like? And so he was like, well, nothing. Like, I won't get tired of you or anything like that. I'm like, child, you don't know that. Because what you 28 and 38 and 48, honey, they going to be in all different things. So what you want at the age of 28 may not be what you're going to want when you're 38. It's just, it is what it is. So he was saying, you go to the gym, keep yourself up and stuff like that. So, I guess it ain't gonna bother him. Now, they got on the subject of her son, Neiko, which according to them, Jordan and Neiko is just like a 4 or 5 age gap. So I think Jordan is like 28 years old, and I guess her son is probably about 23, 24, something like that. And so that's a different dynamic, you know what I'm saying, to date someone that is in a close proximity of your son. So Jordan's like, listen, your son need to get out. Like, he is, I guess, 20, 23 or 24, and he need to leave the nest. Like, he need to get out, get something. And so she was like, that's my baby. Like, I understand. He was saying, I understand like a woman's perspective, you know what I'm saying? Y'all soft, nurturing, gentle, but me as being a man, like, I see it different. And I must say that is so true. When I was married, in my first marriage, just my their dad at that time was their dad, still their dad, not at that time. But I'm just saying, during that time when they were growing up, I saw things different. I was more of the nurturer, more of the coddling and stuff like that. He was more of a nope nonsense, but especially when you're raising boys. I would say raising boys and raising girls are totally different. They can be totally different, because like a man gonna teach a son how to be a man, how to be, get out there and get it, how not to be a wuss, so to speak, and a woman, she's sometimes nurturing, she's coddling and all those things. So she kind of teared up because she was like, maybe I am being soft and stuff, but you got to understand too that he lost somebody in his family. Not only did I lose a husband, but he also lost, I guess, a father figure. So he could be grieving and going through some things as well. In my opinion, I think that Chloe and her son need to get counseling, in my opinion, individual or together, because I'm saying it's not easy raising a son. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy raising a black man in the United States. It's not at all. And I got two. One is child, he'll be 30, 32. He'll be 32 this year. And then I got one that it will be 30 next year. You know what I'm saying? So it's not easy. And I am so grateful that they've always had their father in their life. Like it wasn't no, distance or nothing like that. They always had their father in their life. And I can see that Chloe just don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Because Jordan is not finna let Neiko is not finna let Jordan raise him. Like you can't raise him. You know what I'm saying? So he look at Jordan as being his equal or his peer, not a father figure. So what does that look like? Does Neiko even have a father figure? Somebody that he can talk to, somebody that's more to that mentor him. And I think that that's where the disconnect come in. She not just marrying or being with a man that she being with a man that can't give Neiko even what he need because he don't like dude. He don't like dude. So Latoria is talking to the therapist, and basically she was talking to this therapist because she said, listen, I don't know how to display myself with these girl groups. And she talked about the situation with Manir, where she said that, she keeps and all that stuff, whatever. She also talked about how she grew up just kind of like being the one that people would look her as saying, why you saying this? Why you saying it? Because she was always the bigger one or the darker one or something like that. So everybody has their own trauma and triggers, y'all. Everybody got it. Because Latoya may be deflecting, even if somebody say something to her, it may be a projection of the way she feel, but it's not actually what it is. So she asked Miss Sylvia if she would sit down with the girls and we all have a conversation and stuff like that. So Manir is taking her mom and her husband out to dinner because she wants her mom and her husband to bond a little bit more. It seems like her husband is the jokester and stuff like that. Because I don't know if she made reference to something about going out dating or something like that or whatever, and he made a reference to something, made a joke about it. So, the mama didn't feel like he joked, so she was like, he don't be joking around the house and stuff like that. So he was saying, listen, if you see my face, most of the time it may be look like I'm stern or I'm looking mean and stuff like that. Most of the time I'm just in deep thought. I'm thinking about business. I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about that. So it kind of shows through my face. His wife was like, well, maybe you need to soften up your face. I was saying to myself, a lot of times people don't even know they're making the face that they making. So how can they soften it up? I'm just saying. But maybe he can now be more self-aware of the things that he's doing. So as they sit there and talk, Manir was just talking about how she grew up. She never thought about, being a mom. She said, I don't think she said as a kid she thought about being a mom, a wife, or anything like that. I was like, really? I think that always, well, I guess for me, it's been a, little girl's dream of getting married, having children, raising a family, most, but maybe not all, but she said here she is. And the mom was saying, she said Manir said she's grateful for having her mom in the house and everything and kind of helping out with the kids. And she was like, well, maybe you should pay me. She said, mom, whatever it takes, I can pay you. She said, no, these are my grandkids. I enjoy doing this. Manir was like, but this not your life though. I said, I know that's right, yeah. Speaking as a grandmama, she said, but because I don't want you just to be centered around your grandchildren. And I would say for some grandmothers that don't really have a life or don't have anything else to do, being around the grandkids, that is their life. That's what they want. That's what they desire. Because if they don't have a mate or they built, not even a friend circle or anything like that, that's what it is. But me, I different. So, but yeah. And so the mom give Norman his flowers and Norman give the mom her flowers. And I thought that was nice. I almost cried a little bit, child, when Mom Diane, she was giving Norm his flowers because it was very, very heartfelt. And she was like, I'm grateful because I see you as a good father to my grandchildren and a good husband to my daughter. And I am so grateful for that. So now let's move on to Labrina. I don't know why I want to say Labrinica, but Labrina, she's talking to her husband. He's, honey, when you got money like that, Chad, we ain't got to have that much money, but you willing to pay people extra because you don't want to go to them. You had the barber come to your house. You know what I'm saying? You can have the masseuse come to your house. You can have the nail tech come to your house. They travel nowadays, child. So me personally, I don't be wanting to know everybody know where I stay at. So I don't take part in most of those services. But that's just it's just me. But yeah, so he getting his hair cut, and so the barber leaving and everything. But she did talk about, she was talking about her son Pop. I think that's his name, and how when he was living full time with her, his grades was like up to par. They was on point. But nowadays it's kind of like co-parenting. He's spent some time over here with his dad, spent some time over here. His grades kind of dropping. And so she was like, because even the husband, I think his name William, he was like, yeah, his grades on excuse me, was on point when he was staying with us. So I'm not sure exactly, what's going on and why things are slipping. So yeah, they talked about that. So I don't know if she's gonna think about, I guess, making him come back and stay with them full time. I don't know. But William did notice, honey, that alarm chirping. He was like, every time about black folks, ain't that the truth? Child, I can hear now. I didn't hear this alarm chirping, but I do know if I watch your video and I hear that alarm chirp, I'm just gonna keep strolling, especially on TikTok. I'm gonna keep strolling. I'm not finna. That right there is just annoying, honey. It's annoying. I'm gonna pay attention to that more than I'm gonna pay attention to you. So he was talking about that, and I thought it was funny. So now let's move on to Chloe and Neiko. So Chloe's having a conversation with her son, and her son come in hot. He come in hot, child. He said, "Listen, you want to talk? This is what we finna talk about. I think what you doing, you dating this dude that's about 4-5 years my age different. I think it's weird. I think you're weird, and I think it's weird for him as well. I think he weird too." He said, "Well, listen, I'm not finna bite my tongue." So she was like, "Weird, weird. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm doing what's best for me. I'm living my life." And so she was like, "For you, I think you need to live your life. Figure out what you want to do." You know what I'm saying? Because now she's taking Jordan words and she's trying to put them here, which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because, like I said, this woman lost her husband. And I don't know how much of Neiko looked to her husband as being a father figure. Again, I think there may be some grief involved. And I know we as parents, y'all, we as parents, and I know I've been guilty of this, is that when our children reach a certain age, then it's time for them, okay, what to do, what's next, what your life gonna look like. When I didn't even know. I couldn't even figure it out. And that's basically what she was telling her son, like, figure it out. Like, what you gonna do? You like, I'm gonna be a rapper, I'm trying to do it. And he was getting very defensive. And I think it's because those cameras are right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, a young guy don't want to be embarrassed. He don't want his mama talking to him in certain kind of way, especially on television. And I just really think it was the cameras, in all honesty. So yeah, and then he also dealing with grief and all that stuff, whatever. So it didn't go good. You know what I'm saying? They had a lot of back and forth. He was saying, "Listen, you stay with your mama after you graduated. So what's the beef with me?" But I don't think it's necessarily not saying if you're staying there, then we should see some kind of fruits of your labor. Helping out, going, making your money, not just working one job. Maybe you need to work several, maybe you need to work 2 jobs. Maybe you need. So I think that she want to see some, but she's also saying too that the son is helping her out watching the twins during the day. So leave Neiko alone right now. Okay. Leave Neiko alone. Don't listen to Jordan chat. Leave Neiko alone right now. Get him some counsel. Let him go through some grief therapy and find out whatever the issue is, because maybe he's just in a funk right now and he don't want to do nothing. So leave him alone, especially if he's watching his sisters during the day while you at work. Are you paying him? I'm just saying. You can't be too hard on him. Now let's move on. So Labrina is doing a family dinner with her mom, and I thought it was her stepmama, but maybe that was her real mama, and her dad, and also her husband. So they get in the conversation. They're talking about the children and everything like that. And then they also got on the subject about children leaving home once they graduate high school, like figuring it out. She said that she had a child when she got pregnant when she was 19 years old. And then within a year, her mom was like, "Oh, That's it. Got to get out. I guess that mom. And she was like, it really and truly was hard. Like, where I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna do. I got a child, and she was like, figure it out. And Labrina had some kind of trauma with that because she was like, this is why I had to hustle. This is why I got to do why I am. Now, this is probably why I'm so tough and hard. I'm not going to do this to my children. Now, I must say, girls are different. Like I said, I was that same way that when my oldest son reached a certain age, I need to know what are you going to do? Because at that time, I didn't feel like you going off to college was a bit fit, a fit for you. Even though he made like his grades were so good in school, but I could tell that in high school he just was out of it. Like I can tell he's very smart. Both of them are so freaking smart, but I can just tell that he was over school. So I wasn't, we wasn't gonna pay for him to go to off nowhere to college and waste money. So he was like, okay, what is it else? And me, I should have let my son go to the army. That was some of the things he wanted to do, but I was just shouldn't have. I was scared. But so I was like, okay, what else you got? You got to figure it out. So it just seemed like he just got into this slump where he just didn't want to do nothing. And I was like, okay, bro, these are the rules around here. If you break the rules, you're gonna have to get out. And I did that. I did that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't because of it, basically because I felt like he wasn't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Even the small stuff that I asked him to do, he wasn't doing that. And I gave him warning after warning after warning. So I think that that's a different reason. But like I said, boys are different. Now for me, I don't see if I had a pregnant daughter, thank God, because I was the same way. I was 19 years old. My mom did not put me out, honey. Me and my firstborn, honey, we was still around there in her place. So I don't know why a mom would want to put her 19-year-old daughter out, you know what I'm saying, with a child. And she was like, well, we got rules around here. But what is it that she's doing? Like, was she being disrespectful? Like, was it like mad disrespectful? I just don't understand. But anyway, so, Labrina, she teared up about that because it was real. It really truly was real. And she felt like that she should have gave more grace. And her mom was like, I was raised a certain way and I was pushing that down on you. And I agree that we always raised a certain way, but doesn't mean that it was right. Some stuff, like every child gonna be different. Every situation gonna be different. But I think everybody handled it across the board the way everybody got the same treatment. Regardless, everybody did the same thing. My mom wasn't one to put me out. I don't know why I felt that I need to do my son like that. You know what I'm saying? Because she never did that to us. But anyway, so let's move on. Now they're doing a feelings and heal therapy session where they invited the therapist to, come and sit down and have a talk with them and everything. So Sylvia was asking the ladies, a lot of things like Erykah Badu said, bag lady. We all got baggage. We all got baggage. We bring it in from some previous relationship, situation, whatever, and we bring it into who we are now. So she asked the ladies what else, what they got going on, I guess personally. So Elena was just sharing about her marriage, how it's going through some rocky times and now they're sleeping in separate bedrooms and stuff like that. Chloe in her confession, like, girl, what is it? Like, we want to know. Now, I am really, truly still trying to figure out if all these ladies are friends or you got two friends that's friends over here, two friends that's friends, and two. I think that Manir may be a new friend. It seems as though some of the other ladies know each other, but it seems like Manir may be new to the group. I'm just saying. But Chloe said, she wants to know what's going on. Even production asked Elena, like, what is it that you got going on? She was just like, right now, I'm not going to, share, I guess in due time. I was like, girl, I'm quite sure you don't want to tell everybody on national TV what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, did your husband step out? Like, what happened? Because it got to be something a little detrimental that y'all sleeping in separate bedrooms. You know what I'm saying? And she said something about trust. So, I mean, want to state the obvious, it seemed like he stepped out. Or you or something. I don't know. But anyway, Ro was talking about, the situation with her daughter and everything. And she shared that. And she was just talking about, how she grew up and everything like that and how things are different. Labrina was talking about the fact, too, of having to, maybe when she was young, she was getting put out at a certain age. And so now she was in the survival mode, which triggered Chloe to also say too, that's what I've been doing, you know what I'm saying, with my son. I'm even looking at myself. Have I not been giving my children the love and affection that they deserve because I've been in survival mode, trying to pay bills, trying to, get over the fact that I lost a husband, have I been like that? So she kind of tears up. And to be honest, I like the transparency of Chloe. I like Chloe. I feel like, yes, she can be a lot, but I feel like she's real. I'm not saying any other ladies aren't, but out of all of them, I think that Labrina and Chloe would have to be the ladies that I like. Now I like Ro too. She come in the mix too. But Latoya was just saying too, as far as her, she lost her dad years ago, and so now she don't have that source of, her best friend, somebody she could talk to and stuff like that. So it's really been hard for her. And she also feels that sometimes that she's misunderstood. She's a loving, kind person, all that stuff, and she just wants the best for everybody. So when she said that Manir, she made a little joke that maybe then it wasn't received well. And she said, so she wrote a letter to Manir. Manir was like, well, first of all, before you read your letter, I want to say that I sent you a text and you didn't reply to the text. And she was like, yeah, I was still processing it and everything. I was like, what? Processing what, girl? Could you not just simply, it hasn't been days, weeks. How far are we looking at? Was this yesterday, day before yesterday? I want to know. But she said she was still processing it and everything. So Manir was talking about the fact too that, I think Elena jumped in and said, oh yeah, when I said that she looked cute and stuff like that, I guess she kind of went off on me and she made a mental note not to call her cute no more. She said, no, it's not that I don't like to be called cute. Elena said, yes, you do. You don't like to be called cute. She said, no, sometimes people mistake me as looking younger. She said, no, they don't. That's Elena. And then the back and forth was it. I mean, I don't know if it was editing or what, but the back and forth was like, I liked it. It was funny because Elena was saying something, then Manir, and then Elena was just knocking that down. Whatever she said, honey, she was just knocked down. So, let's see. So let's see. Oh yeah, so yeah, Elena said that and stuff. So Manir, basically, it seems like Manir just wants to be respected as a grown woman. I guess when you call her cute or cutesy or you look 11 or 9, it goes back to those triggers when she was in corporate America and she was not fully respected as being a grown woman. She got a husband, she got children, and she wanted to be seen as that. And that's her own trauma. That's her own triggers. That's her own trauma. That's her own even self-projection. You know what I'm saying? Even if, like Latoya, I don't think she was saying anything that she was trying to look down on her as being, oh, you're so cute. I think she was saying, oh, you look cutesy because you just came, comfortable and everything. But she did read the letter and she did say, listen, I know not to say that to you. If that's a triggering for you, I know not to say that to you. And let's be clear, when you're around, which is why I don't be around a bunch of women. I'm not gonna even lie. Child, you could say thee, that, and cat, and honey, it's a trigger for somebody. How you say it, the way you say it, the way you look when you say it. I just don't like being around a bunch of women. I don't like being around a bunch of women unless I feel that these women are healed. Now I know nobody's probably living 100% healed. But I feel I don't want to be around women that still have drama, still have triggers, still have like trauma and a lot of stuff, internal wars that they're dealing with. Because I may say something. I have been known to say stuff that is truth, but people get offended how I said it or why I said it or what, which I had no ill intent at all. Just just saying stuff. And not just saying anything, but popping it and saying it, and then find out it hurt them. They didn't like that, and it. Oh, child, miss me with it. But it comes when women are. Do you know how many times people have said stuff to me, and I didn't like the tone or whatever. But that's okay. I clocked it. I checked it. Okay. Let's see if this becomes a habit. If you said it, and I sometimes can judge the tone or whatever. But I remember somebody saying, "You see how they said that to you?" Oh, girl, no. Look how they said it. Why they say it like that? Why they and now this other people's traumas and triggers. I didn't take offense. I said, girl, I didn't get offended when they said that. Girl, I didn't see that no type of way. If they said it like that, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not paying attention to every word, every syllable. Even if you say it to me, like I just don't get disrespectful. My thing is, it's always an energy behind why you said what you said. It's always a motive. It's always some undercurrents. Now, if your undercurrents has ugliness, meanness, vileness, jealousy, envy, hatefulness, all this stuff, it'll show in your words to me, right? Because it's going to come out in such a way, even when you think that thing's going to come out so sweet, it's going to have a to it. And then I would check that. I said, oh, I got that one. I see. I see when I heard that. I heard, and you can just say, girl, I like your outfit. But it can come with the, and you can hear that, you can hear that bite in it. And you be like, they really did. They felt like they had to say it, but they really didn't like my outfit. But they felt pressed, like I wanted them to say it. Do y'all get that? Like I read energy, and I didn't know how much of an energy reader I really and truly was, because if I say this to somebody else, they be like, "Girl," if I say, when she said da 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 da, I'm like, somebody else would be like, "I don't think they meant it like that," but I know what I heard. You know what I'm saying? So they'll make you second guess yourself, which is why I don't tell a lot of people a lot of stuff. I keep a lot of stuff to myself. I just check it. And I promise you, if I ever cut people off, and I have, most recently, and if I ever had to cut people off, it's because I checked what you did or did not do way before the cutoff. Way before the cutoff. Way before the cutoff. So, like I said, you just have to pay attention to energy. So, that's why I say I don't like to be around a lot of people that still deal with triggers and things that they aren't healed from, because I may say something and it's going to trigger you, which is fine, but deal with your trigger, the thing that triggered you, not what I said, because what I said came from a pure place. But you should deal, like I said, Manir need to deal with the triggers, not what people saying, if that makes sense. Because Latoria is not saying it because she don't even know your triggers, child. So she's not saying it to be malicious or mean. She's just saying it as a word. And Elena feels the same way. Like, I know not to say cute around you. So evidently, girl, get you some help in that area, because other people are feeling the same way. And nobody's want to be around you. Now they got to watch every word. And that leads me to the next scene where they go into a lounge called Mocha. I think that's how to pronounce it. And it's owned by four Black men, I think, entrepreneurs. And it's a lounge. And so it's some kind of singles event or singles something. So as they sitting there, so in the confessional, like, Latoria was just telling me, it's a little cutesy place. She said, oh, can't say that. You know what I'm saying? Cute. So she know now I can't say cutesy. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of stuff I don't want to be around. Like, I don't want to be around, and I don't want to have to do that, like, with me. Like, if somebody said something to me that triggered me, I first want to deal with me. Like, I don't want to be triggered by everything. So that's a me problem. You know what I'm saying? I understand energy. And if somebody continues to do stuff in a very manipulative, mean way all the time, I'm going to eventually check that. Right? I'm going to eventually either distance myself from it or whatever, but it got to be more than once. From what I saw, Latoria did it twice in the same setting. She didn't give the girl no grace. So that sounds like a me problem. And if it's a me problem, I want to deal with me. A lot of people aren't self-aware. And I'm very self-aware. I check myself even nobody else got to check me. I'm gonna check myself before that. So if you come to me, oh girl, I already dealt with that. I'm dealing with that. Now I'm checking on that. Let me read the books. Let me see how I can get. If I need to go to therapy, let's see how I can work on this. Because I like to work on me because I want to be the best freaking version of me every day. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I don't want to be malicious. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to carry bad energy. I don't want to be jealous, envy, hatred of nobody. Let's get this temple together. Let's get me together because all I want to be is love and light. All I want to be is love outside of what y'all see on here. I make my jokes. I do what I do, but I really and truly just want to exude love and light. That's it. And I want to help somebody else to do the same. So I don't want to come with bad energy. And I don't want to be that mean girl spirit. Hell no. Hell. And I don't want mean girl energy around me, period. Not better than nobody. Not thinking that you all of that. You can think how you want, but it's how you treat others. Like you can walk in total confidence, but how in the hell are you treating people around you? That's what I'm talking about. Pop your collar, talk your ish, do all that stuff in your own space. Big yourself up, hype yourself up, be that girl. But when you come around others, how do you treat them? How do you make them feel? Do they want to be in your space or do they want to distance themselves from you? Check that. I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have any, to be honest. But I keep myself in a place of isolation. And when it's time for me to have friends or to be out, then God says now. God will say it's time. But when I'm out there, I don't want to be around stuff and people that's not healed. I don't. Because I've done a lot of work on me. And I want to be around people that have done a lot of work on them. And they are walking in a place of self-awareness. I shouldn't have to tell you this, and this unless I'm coaching you. But you should already know these are my issues. Manir, no, these are my issues. Well, stop blaming this girl that don't know you. Anyway, child of God. All right, so now let's move on to Chloe, Latoya, and Ro and Elena. They invited Elena, even though she married, stuff like that. So Chloe said, listen, I got a surprise for y'all. Invite this girl, Chiniqua. I think that's her name. Not Shanae. Yeah, Chiniqua. And she said, I know, Latoya, that was your friend and everything, but I'm not crossing friends. I'm not trying to, step on your toes. And she said, step on my toes? No. And what's her name? Chiniqua, she come and everything. I want to say this, but I think I might keep it to myself about Chiniqua. And I may be wrong, but if you see what I see, you may see what I see. And I don't know if it's true about Chiniqua, but she gave me that energy. And I'm not going to say it. All right. But y'all know, because I'm quite sure y'all peeped it, because y'all have a discernment and a smart like me. But we could be wrong. Could be 100% wrong. But she just gave me that energy. So Chiniqua was just sitting down and stuff like that. And Rose said, listen, why you got to invite somebody new? I don't like new people. Now, I must say I'm with Rose. Because now, just like I said before, you got to watch what you say. Can't say stuff. You don't know if people unhealed around you, honey. You say these, they and the cat. And honey, they ain't like the way you said. They ain't like the way you looked at them. Now we got to deal with all that. That's why when God do send me my friends, child, my space, everything will be small. Like it's already ain't nobody there. It's gonna be 1 or 2 people because I don't have time for dealing all this energy with these unhealed women. We going to all these women events and still had the same freaking issues that you had before you went. That's why I don't do women's conferences. Like, I'm not finna run to them. And I will host my own, but I'm not finna run to them because I learned to do my own deliverance. Dang, y'all want everybody, help me do this. Help me. Sit with yourself. Write down all your issues. Write down everything. What you got. And be honest with yourself. Now, this is free coaching, child. Now, be honest with yourself. This is how you are. You're a liar. Be honest. You're a cheater. You're a manipulator. See, let me see. When I'm going to tell you what I did on Wednesday. I did work on myself and I was honest about who I was. I ain't listen to that voice to say, girl, no, that was called ego. I ain't listen to my ego to tell me I wasn't this. I listened to myself to tell me what I was. Anyway, so Ro was like, yeah, she don't want to be around no new people, nothing like that, honey, because now you got to deal with all this stuff. And I get you on that one. I get you on that. She said she just want to free be with herself and the girls that know her, for real. So the girl came in hot. Now, she came in hot. Latoya said, yeah, I met her on Facebook 10 years ago. I think it was in an event of blah, 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 whatever. And the girl came with receipts. The only reason she came with receipts because Chloe said, well, Latoya said she really don't remember you like that. So the girl done printed off screenshots and all this stuff. And Ro was like, wait a minute, girl, this too much. Like, you coming in with all this energy. And Ro night, baby, let me tell you one thing, honey. She's not tightening them lips. Them lips is flowing. And she was like, and then Chiniqua was like, B. And she said, hold up, wait a minute, B. I was like, do you see how thick Ro is? Like, girl. I think all you gotta do is pop you, honey. You're gonna flying out in the streets. Ro is thick, like shoulder bound, thick. Like she don't play thick, like she lift weights, like she all this is thick up in the shoulder. All that. She shaped like a square up here. Do y'all see that? And you want to call her a B? Okay. All right, girl. All right, girl. Oh, okay. But anyway, so yeah, she came with receipts, all that stuff from 2014. She was like, girl, you talking about you don't know me, girl. We done did business together and everything. It wasn't just on no Facebook. Honey, these are receipts. We done did events and da-da-da-da-da-da. And everybody at that table is blown. That you, first of all, invited this new girl here. And please don't bring her on the show. Please. Okay, we can see a next episode to close this out, but that's it for her. That's it for her. We don't like her because she already got some kind of insecurity and stuff like that. And I think somebody said, you projecting, you got all these insecurities, girl. You trying to get your name out there. You trying to save face, all this stuff with that. I can't deal with women like that. I can't. This is why when I meet women for the first time, I'm quiet. I don't divulge about myself. I don't talk about myself. I will let you talk about you. I will listen to all the stuff that you tell me, whether your marriage jacked up, whether your friendship jacked up, I will listen. Because I'm picking up who you are. I'm picking up. And I engage, girl, for real. Like, what happened? And I'm just going to be like somebody that's nosy and listening to you. Because the one thing people going to do is talk about themselves. I don't do that. So I listen. And then I make my assessment of if this somebody I want to engage with the next time, or, I like their energy. I like the conversations, because a lot of times when I sit down with people don't ask me about me. They don't want to know about me. They just want to talk about them. That gets old. But I let them talk about them, child. But I promise you, this won't be a friendship or relationship that's gonna be around long. Most of the time ain't gonna be no friendship, but it won't be around long. Because I engage. I let my little spidey senses, my discernment, all that stuff, I let that take part. And I just let you listen. Even when I was dating, I let the guys talk. Until somebody says, so what about you? I let you talk. Because honey, you talk enough, baby. You're gonna end up telling me more than I probably want to know. And I'm going to say, yeah, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. See, got to be smart. I'm smarter than the average bear, honey. Regardless of what people think and say, I'm smarter than the average bear. And I ain't get this way by running my mouth a lot. I ain't get where I am now by running my mouth a lot. But anyway. But y'all let me know that Chiniqua got to go. Chiniqua. She gotta go, child. Don't come up here messing up this group, child. We just on the third, fourth episode, honey. We got to figure it out for ourselves. But you coming in, want to be on TV and talking about the receipts, and you don't print it out on somebody print it. I'm with Ro. I am with Ro. Girl, you don't wasted the ink and black ink because all of that was black screenshots. Girl, nobody care. Anyway, y'all see y'all on the next episode. Don't forget to go with God and let God go with you, and always put God first. Deuces. Hey!